Good morning and welcome back to Indonesia. Today is actually very exciting. I am leaving my volunteering position, which is kind of sad because people here have been absolutely lovely. However, I am also going on a new adventure, which I'm very excited about. So one thing that Sumatra is very much known for is the orangutan. Now there's two types of orangutans. You've got the ones in Borneo, which are endangered, and then you've got the ones in Sumatra, which are critically endangered. So for the next 3 days, 2 nights, we are going deep into the jungle and see if we can find these magnificent creatures. I'm really hoping to see at least one, and maybe a few other animals. That would be really cool. But I absolutely loved my experience in the Amazon rainforest, so I was very excited to go back to the jungle and experience jungle life again, I suppose. So let's get going. I'm gonna be picked up in about an hour, so I'm gonna have breakfast and then we are off. Let's go!
Day one was a conflicting experience. Witnessing these remarkable orangutans in their natural habitat was truly breathtaking, a moment I'd looked forward to for so long, but the reality on the ground told a different story. I found myself surrounded by 40 other tourists, and the atmosphere felt more like a wildlife exhibit than a genuine jungle encounter. Despite the claims of a semi-wild setting, the experience raised serious questions about how ethical this form of tourism really is. I fully recognized that I was one of those 40 people, part of the problem in a way, and honestly, had I known what the first day would be like, I'm not sure I would have chosen to go. Day 2 and 3 felt much more respectful and far more in line with what I'd hoped for.
We've just made it back to camp. The trek was very intense, but we saw orangutans 3 times, which was really cool. We saw Thomas leaf monkeys, and we saw a white-headed gibbon or a white-handed gibbon. I'm not entirely sure which one of the two. Both very cool. I didn't get a picture of that or a video, I was too late, but we did see it, and we heard the hornbill quite a few times. Day 1 is done, survived. We are now at our accommodation, which looks like this. We just have a very thin mattress and then a mosquito net. Now they don't have drinking water, so you can either boil the river water and drink it. I've got a little bit of water left, and I'm gonna try to get that through until tomorrow, and then maybe day 3 drink a little bit of river water and then try to stay alive until the end of the day, so that at the end of the day I can just drink a lot of water at my accommodation. We're about to have dinner and then relax until tomorrow, and then tomorrow is day 2, so I'm very excited.
Good morning, it's day 2. We have a long trek up the hill. First breakfast. I did not sleep very well. I'm very excited about today. I hope I have enough energy to pull through. In case you're wondering what the bathroom situation is, let me show you. It's like this little hut in the jungle.
Then you've got a nice Western style toilet and a bucket. Not perfect, but it does the job.
So we've made it to our second camp, and this is where we're sleeping for the night. Just a mosquito net and a nice little mattress. We just went swimming, which was much needed. And tomorrow we are going to do, I think we're gonna try to do a little hike if everybody's on board, and then we are tubing home, which should be very exciting. They're calling it the river taxi. Today was very intense but very fun. We saw, I will say, quite a few orangutans. So the first day that we did, they were semi-wild. In my opinion, I don't think we can consider them semi-wild because apparently guides were feeding them. So I guess they're still semi-wild, but I really don't like that part. And then today we went further into the park, so none of the day trip people will be here. And I feel like they were definitely wild. Towards the end, it kind of got a little bit scary almost because there was an orangutan on the path and he was charging at us. So our guide told us go back, and he was trying to scare him, but our first guide didn't really have the assertiveness, I suppose. So we had to wait for the second one, who just charged back, and then it finally like moved away. I think it was just protecting its baby, who was a little bit further down the path. But it was kind of scary to have an orangutan come at us. They said that this orangutan, they kind of know which orangutan is which, and that this one can be very aggressive. So it's kind of tricky, but also looking back, now that we're safe and nobody was hurt, it was I think it's a really cool.
We were almost at the camp when we saw an orangutan on the path ahead. Our guide told us to stay back, so we turned around and we walked back a little bit further. The orangutan was most likely trying to protect her baby that was a little further down the path. Back in the day in this area, there used to be a sanctuary for orangutans. It's closed now, but the female orangutan was once there. When our guide picked up a stick, the orangutan immediately climbed up a tree. At the time, we thought this was just a tactic to scare her off, but knowing the full story now, those clips hit a little different. When this female orangutan was once at the sanctuary, they used to hit the orangutans with sticks. So the moment our guide broke the stick in half and smashed them together, it knew what was coming and ran off. For the record, our guide was never going to hit the animal, just scare her off the path so we could continue.
Alright, camp number 2, let me show you the bathroom. Again, just a little hut. Kind of like a Western style toilet, and that's how you flush. I don't know if you can tell. Good morning, it is day 3 of the trip and it's also our last day. This morning we are going for a hike, but the good thing this time is we can leave our bags here, so I think I'm gonna go with them anyways, even though my knees are kinda hurting quite bad. Then we come back for lunch. After lunch we go home by jungle taxi, which should be exciting, and that'll be the trip. Most people don't get to do the hiking this morning on day 3, he said. He said day 3 is more for just chilling and relaxing, which is why he always recommends people to do 2 days 1 night instead of 3 days, because you spend another about 50 euros just relax here when you can relax in the town. But we've been offered the chance to go for a hike, so I think that'll be worth it, and I am definitely gonna do that. Breakfast is great, let's go do some more hiking. So I've just made it back from the jungle tour. I'm in my guest house. There's nobody here, so I can't check in. So I've texted the person that I was in contact with before. I'm hoping somebody will show up soon, but until then, the tour is really cool. It is, I would say it's not the easiest. It's definitely a lot of ups and downs. Also, the first day you see semi-wild orangutans. In my opinion, they're definitely not even semi-wild, they're feeding them. You watch them with like 100 of your closest friends, so I didn't really like that. But on day 2 you do see them in the wild, so if you see them, you see them, if not, then not, which I prefer. And then today we did a quick walk, but we didn't really see anything. Alright, so spoiler alert, I'm currently in Australia, not in Indonesia anymore, but I have a few things to say and I wanted to put that in at the end. So I've received mixed information. Some people say that their tour absolutely does not feed them. My experience is that whoever you book with, they just go with a guide, but you can be in a group with people who booked on different places. So I booked with a homestay. I had 3 other people booked with another homestay, and then there was another girl who booked with a third party. So we all booked in different places, but we were in the same group. So I'm not sure if that matters. Now, again, there have been people saying that they booked with eco tours, they were only with eco tours and ethical tours and no other people. I'm not sure how it works, but this is just my experience. My experience is that no matter who you book with, you end up in a group with other people. So even if you book a certain type of tour, my experience is that you could still possibly be in a group where you get a guide that feeds the animals. Now again, our guides didn't feed them, but we saw a lot of guides from other groups that did feed them, and we did end up with those orangutans. So I guess indirectly we kind of fed them as well. We were definitely part of the problem. I will say seeing the animals was really cool. Day 2 was absolutely amazing. But again, that was just my experience. Just wanted to share it, and yeah. Okay, bye!